And OBS tells me that we are live, and this is Saturday, February 27th, the last Saturday in February 2021. I hope you are all doing awesome. And it looks like we are live. I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here. If you stumbled across the stream this morning, go down and click subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, to let YouTube know you like this content. And if you're watching and you can hear me, please let me know in the live chat, because I think that the sound should be working, right? But until somebody lets me know, I'm usually not 100% sure. Samir's in. John, Cody, can everybody hear me? Morning, Gibby. Everybody's piling in this morning. I've only had one cup of coffee. I haven't had that much sleep the last few days. We'll talk about that. All right, everybody can hear me so far. Perfect. I'm glad you're all doing well this morning. And I'll say this again throughout the stream, but if you've been trying to, get a hold of me the last few days, we've had a huge cutover we were in the middle of. And if you've ever had a Windstream SIP circuit, you will know that they are challenging. How challenging? First tier support didn't know what SIP was, and that's the service that they're selling. So that's how challenging Windstream is. So trying to get all the ins and outs of their SIP service, even though we have a router configuration from their Adtran router, trying to make sure that we're sending all the right things at scale. When you just test and you test a couple things, it seems to be okay. But then when you test at scale with hundreds of phones, actually when you go live with hundreds of phones after you've signed off on testing, then sometimes that's when you really find out what's up with the provider, right? So we know historically that we cannot call Windstream unless there's a down, unless the T1 circuit is down. They're not going to be of really any help to us. And so you have to figure it out on your own. You have to work with the equipment manufacturer. I've done more packet captures over the last since Thursday than I've done all year so far, because normally we don't have these types of issues. So it's definitely been interesting, but the equipment manufacturer has been so great, so on top of it, so responsive. And yeah, the problems seem to point back to Windstream, but we think we've got it stable after kind of a late night last night. So we'll see what happens. We're going to continue to monitor it throughout the weekend, and then Monday, when there's a big load on the system, that will give us a better idea of what is or what is not going to happen. So this particular Windstream circuit, back in the early 2010s, like 2010 to 2014-ish, they were coming in, they're selling SIP over a T1, which is great, and their prices were, at the time, unheard of. Well, this caused a huge amount of customers to switch over to their service, but the customers were not billing that much. And so they actually came out not too long after this service was installed and said, if a customer is not going to bill $1,500 a month, then we're not going to onboard the customer. How do I know that? Because I had a person who their entire career, what they've done is they are kind of the middleman between you and the telco, which that business model is pretty much dead now. But at the time, that person got a hold of Windstream, because this was for somebody else, and they came back and said, if you're not going to bill at least $1,500 a month, Windstream doesn't want the business. And we were like, oh, okay. So, yeah. And Windstream, we always wonder, when are they going to finally go bankrupt, be bought, be pillaged, all that stuff. Right. So it's pretty interesting. So I will tell you that once that network is stable, we will be porting away from them to Telnex as quickly as possible. And if I can pay for an expedited port fee, that's going to happen. So proceed with caution. I've got a Twitter thread going about this. I posted it last night, and I did get a response. Let me see if there's been any further follow-up. Somebody said they could answer my questions, and so then I went back and asked this person, like, are you an employee, or do you just have a lot of their SIP service? So Windstream they're going to be a distant memory here pretty soon. Good morning to everyone. Tony is in the house. I haven't seen Unky Joe, and I haven't seen Joe Trelli. Cody from Mac Telecom Networks is in the house. If you haven't checked them out on YouTube, make sure you do that. They've got some great content. And if you're in here watching this, we need to make sure that YouTube knows that you're liking the content. Make sure you hit that like button and you share. All that good stuff. All right, selfless plug over. If you didn't see the dock video that I put out last week about the dock that everybody was interested in, I did pop in the Synology hard drive, and there's not even any partitions. There's nothing. You have to initialize the drive. So now that things are going to be settling down a little bit, I'm going to have a chance to do a video on these hard drives, and we'll see how they perform. Like I said, they're going to go into that DS 1621 XS Plus. We're going to put 4 drives in it. There's 2 12 terabyte drives, 2 8 terabyte drives, and we'll run one set of drives, because it's already got the SSDs. So one set of drives will be for nothing but surveillance station, and then the other one will be for other mass media that doesn't need to be on flash. So that is going to be fantastic. Bill says over in the comments that Windstream will do everything in the book to fail the port. One customer had it 22 times fail the port because of them. Yeah, that's not cool. So we're going to have to make sure that port goes well. I'm even at the point where what we've been doing with some customers is, by the way, if you're not a VoIP.ms customer, or you are a VoIP.ms customer, you would have gotten an email last week that their E911 systems weren't working properly. And that's a little bit scary that your E911 isn't working properly. So yeah, man. And we've had no problems with Telnex, and I have no problem plugging Telnex because they've been super responsive. They're awesome. The one thing that I hear people complain about the most about Telnex is when they go to sign up, that sometimes their email address gives them some problems signing up. And think about it, Telnex is a worldwide provider of SIP. I mean, in that industry, fraud is rife, right? So Telnex is doing everything that it can to protect the customers, to protect the integrity of the service. So if you go to sign up for Telnex and you have an issue, you can reach out to me and I can hook you up directly with my contacts there, and they can take care of it. Or you can actually open up a support ticket yourself, and they will verify you and they will get you going. But that's the number one thing that people don't like, it when their email address triggers some sort of an issue. And it happens. It does happen. Oh, so what else happened this week? Real quick, though, I'm going to shut this light off without pulling everything off the desk. Okay, you probably don't notice the difference, but I noticed the difference. Had to do it. Is it TP-Link? I think it's TP-Link that makes Omada. I think, somebody tell me. Cody, I think that's right. They reached out. They're going to send me a whole rack of equipment. No, not a whole rack. They're going to send me like switches and APs and some stuff. And they're sending me a little bit more, I think, than they've sent some of the other creators, because I kind of negotiated a little bit. But we're going to do a full stack TP-Link and give it a fair shake and see what it's all about. Everything that I've heard, they've replicated some of the problems with the competitor, but we're going to see. We're going to give it a fair shake. Oh, yeah. Here's this other thing I wanted to talk about. So if you've been following for a little while, you will remember that I've been working on a video for this QNAP 2.5 gig NAS. Well, I've been attempting to work on a video for it, but I could not get the speeds to transfer at 2.5 gig. Well, it turns out it's not the NAS. It's this Sabrent adapter. And I can't get this thing to focus. Holy moly. What's the focus on me? There it is. So what I did was, because this thing's supposed to have a 2-year warranty. So what I did is we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But what I did was I went ahead and I registered the Sabrent, however you want to pronounce that, registered it. When you register the product under your email address, it asks for the serial number on the back and it asks for the model number. So I put that all in. They recognize that I have this device, that I own it. I provided the Amazon order number, the whole bit, the date I bought it, everything. They have every piece of information. So I turn in an RMA. I give them the serial number of the device. They have all this information that links back to my account. Here's the, let me zoom in for all of those of you that may have some vision issues. They send me this back. This is I told them in the ticket, like, I can't get this thing to transfer at 2.5 or 5 gigs reliably. I have other adapters that are working reliably. So I've already submitted my my serial number, which you would think, once I submitted all that information, that they're going to know, because I even gave them the model number, right? So all they got to do is cross-reference the support ticket. So we're going back and forth, and this is one of the replies. Hello, Willie. And I'm not going to put this. I'm not going to throw the support guy under the bus, because this may be a Sabrent policy. To better assist you, please share the following details: the unit model, the PC motherboard model where you're trying to connect your device and transferring files, the hard drive models, and the model of the other adapter. So they want to know what adapter is working reliably. Why do you want to know the other adapter that is working reliably? So I responded and I said, look, I gave you my serial number. What else do you need? And he came back and said, if you can't give us the model number. So I provided them all of that information. So all they got to do is look it up. So anyway, I wrote them back and told them this morning before I went live here that if they don't, I want to know, why do you need the hard drive models? Why do you need PC motherboard? When I've done troubleshooting, I've seen other people having this issue. And I'm just trying to negotiate where, like, I can just get a replacement for the product that I bought. And then I ended the email with, if you don't want to replace this under warranty, that's cool. Just let me know. So here is the adapter. I just got this in the other day. I had like 10 minutes to try it last night. This is the QNAP. And I've left an affiliate link for this down in the description. This is the QNAP. It'll do obviously 10, 100, 1 gig, 2.5, and 5 gig. And I am getting 2.5 gig speeds out of this, so I suspect I will get 5 gig speeds out of it. Here it is, side by side with the other adapter. So if Sabrent's going to honor the warranty, if they're not, or whatever, how much more information they need. I've never had to jump through so many hoops when I've already, on the front end, front-loaded all that information with the person that, they literally have my Amazon order number. They have, I provided them everything up front. So what good is me providing that registration information if it doesn't flow through, to the next system? It doesn't make any sense to me. So here is the QNAP 10 gig, and here's the QNAP 2.5. So at this point, I may just give up on the Sabrent. What, I don't even, is it Sabrent? Sabrent, I don't know. But I may just give up on those and stick with the QNAPs and push the QNAPs because the QNAPs have been working 100% reliably. And that I can't say that about these other adapters. So let's go over to the comments. 66 of you here. Good morning. Good. Happy Saturday, the 27th, 2021. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's see who's in the comments. DJ Ware, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, TP-Link. Cody says that Omada is TP-Link. So TP-Link is sending me that full stack to try out. Dave Robertson, good morning. So Cody says he needs a Wi-Fi 6 adapter for his laptop. And I believe Joe Trelli from Cajoling Technologies has more information on a D-Link adapter that's going to be coming out, which I can't wait to get my hands on. I'm assuming it's going to have to be USB 3. So Joe from Cajoling, if you could put more information about that in the comments, go ahead and link it. How I'm doing a lot of my Wi-Fi 6 testing is I've got a card and a desktop. I've got the MacBook Pro M1, and then we've got a couple phones that have Wi-Fi 6. So, and I got to tell you, I know people love to do the iPerf test, but when I'm in front of a customer, iPerf test is pretty much worthless, because a lot of the customers don't understand it, don't want to see it. It's gibberish. Now, if it was a pie chart, if you did it in a pie chart, maybe. I say that tongue in cheek, but I just don't like giving iPerf results to a customer when I can actually just show them, hey, here's the actual speed that you're getting. And there's several different ways to do that. A couple of years ago, or last year, the year before, I installed a self-hosted speed test. So we're going to use that in combination with a couple other ways to measure that. There's a couple other things that I wanted to talk about real quick here. Let me Google it before we hop back over. And Tony and Joe already know what I'm going to be talking about. Let me see here. I'll pull it up. By the way, if any of you were experiencing, and we'll talk about this here in just a second. Let me flip over to the other screen. If any of you are in charge of payment processing, which is funny because I was working with somebody yesterday who's troubleshooting a payment processing issue in a point of sale, and they are linked to Fiserv / First Data / Card Connect, and we had no idea that this was happening. Card Connect, who's owned by Fiserv / First Data, didn't tell us that this was happening. So nobody knew. So the person's troubleshooting a credit card issue when the processors are having problems. And it's funny because in this, so Fiserv blames this on their ISP having an outage, then they decline to name the ISP, which I get because you're just going to have people being stupid calling the ISP. We don't need any of that. But the funny thing is if you actually have their service, it takes you about 2 seconds to figure out who their ISP is. So obviously the people writing the articles are not tech folk. They like to write these, stories about, outages and stuff like that. And so, like I said, if you have Fiserv, you understand the process to actually figure out who their ISP is. It literally takes seconds. So that was a thing yesterday. And if you just do a quick Google search for Fiserv outage, it was not good. And it affected not only smaller clients, but it affected large clients like Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A started handing out free meals because of it. So, good for Chick-fil-A. I should have been in line at the Chick-fil-A when that happened, but yesterday was a Jimmy John's day. All right, back to the comments real quick. Let's see here. Oh, yes, Mike is either in Puerto I'm going to butcher this. Puerto Penasco, Penasco, or Phoenix, depending on the day of the week. And Mike has invited us down to Mexico. So as soon as travel opens up a little bit, maybe when it starts getting cool here, maybe we'll take you up on that, Mike. Tim actually designed a portal for Mike that displays Mike's security cameras that are overlooking the beach. And this is for residents of the condo association that Mike, I believe I don't know if you are just maintaining that. I believe you're part owner though. But Tim created this really cool portal. It's got the weather at the top and it shows the cameras, and it always looks so nice down there, especially when you're sitting here with 10 inches of snow. So, let's see here. DWA-X1850 is the adapter. So we'll have to, as soon as that's available. So the thing is, right? If you've created a Wi-Fi 6 product, and so there's this big thing right now. If you don't listen to the Wisp Brothers podcast, the Wisp Brothers? Yeah. Pretty sure that's it. I just had like this huge vapor lock. But if you don't follow them, they always love to post the things that the rest of us won't. And so they posted a link to an FCC document and to a QSG for the new Unify Pro Wi-Fi 6 AP that's coming out. And so they're pumping up this Pro Wi-Fi 6 AP, and it only has a 1 gig port according to the current QSG and documentation. And so before Ubiquiti could remove it, they actually, the Brothers Wisp, that's what it's called, not the Wisp Brothers, the Brothers Wisp. They actually archived the QSG and all the information so that if it gets removed, you can see that it is a 1 gig port. So, but I do think that once you start seeing the Wi-Fi 6E stuff come out, that's where you're going to have to start seeing multi-gig ports. Right now, if you were to ask me to install Wi-Fi 6, I would not install a product that doesn't have a multi-gig port. So, and I see people like these Wisp owners and all these, well, you'll never saturate a gigabit. Bullsh. I can show you how to saturate a gigabit. So if you're not using cheap hardware, it's not difficult to saturate 1 gig. Yeah, and that's what Bill Green says. Go Wi-Fi 6E, get the extra band and the 6 gigahertz. Absolutely, because that's going to allow us to have more channels and better design. Let's see here. Brian Murray, you didn't miss any of the good stuff yet. I appreciate you thinking that the stuff we're cranking out here is good stuff. I do appreciate that. Lars asks, hi, done some Chromecast proxies for hotels. Just installed the OnlyCast service with normal Chromecast and Unify. Okay, Lars, is there a question there, or is that just a statement that you did that? Fisherman's Overlook asks, how to deal with narrowband jamming from an Air Max point-to-point on 5G on customers' WAPs. Have an area of town that can't use 5G Wi-Fi because of another ISP using Ubiquiti Air Max TDMS. Well, I thought part of the point of some of that Ubiquiti stuff was to be able to have channel reuse because you lock into GPS and all that good stuff. So, yeah, and Brian Murray says that the 5G provider has a license on the band, the Air Max may be in violation. There's all kinds of things you're going to have to look at there. But if they're using Ubiquiti stuff and it's GPS synced, then you should be able to have channel reuse without any issues. So you need to really kind of look into that. So Joe from Cajoling, I see that comment. What comment am I missing? You said before that, you said, I put a space. I'm here. You didn't see my earlier message. Let's see, Joe from Cajoling Tech. No, Joe, I didn't see your earlier message. So your Comcast internet must be leaking some of your messages out, and they're just sitting in the ether somewhere. So, one of the things that I'm really excited about is going to be coming up here pretty soon, and it is going to be a video on this particular paint. You can see a quart of this paint is $82.46. A gallon is $299.96, and this is while it is on special. And then you need a grounding kit. So what this paint does is a lot of times you want to keep your RF from escaping an area, and then sometimes you want to keep your outside RF from getting into an area. And that's exactly what this paint does. And I am excited to be able to do a video on this, and it is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. So everything will have to be grounded properly. Everything will have to be done to spec. And once that's done, you're going to see a video on this, and I am super, super excited. They do tell you with one coat, you can get attenuation of a 30.6 dB, 99% is achieved, rising to 45 with 2 coats. So it is, I can't wait to do this video. $82.46 a quart. It also cannot freeze. So if you're in an area that is cold, they have to ship this with heat packs in the box. So it's a 1 to 2 day shipping always. And then you have to have somebody sign for it, or it has to be kept in a warm location. I am probably more excited about this than I should be. All right, back to the comments. Dave Anderson, good morning. Bill says the Unify Wi-Fi 6 HD has a 10 gig Ethernet designed for the Unify 16X. Not sure what you're talking about there, Bill, but if you're saying the Pro definitely does not have, it's got a 1 gig port. So yes, Bob, that is exactly what I am doing, is I am painting a Faraday cage. And no, it is not lead paint. I have to assume, oh, hey, Gibby, I already have a ground rod that I can attach to for this demonstration. But yes, I would agree. If I was running a ground rod and trying to get past the first, 18 to 36 inches right now, may be a challenge till you get down to that frost line. I can't remember where the frost line's at. I'd have to look that up, but definitely the first 12 inches would give me a fit for sure. But no, Dave Robertson, this is not lead-based paint. I don't know. I don't know if there's industry secrets around this, but it is not lead-based. If it was lead-based, I don't know that you would have to necessarily ground it, would you? Let's see. Here we go. Emr Shielding Paint uses a water base with a high-quality nickel pigment to provide superior shielding results compared with carbon-based shielding paints. The nickel has excellent corrosion resistance and provides shielding against EMF and RF frequencies and electromagnetic EMR radiation. And it says, having a gray color, it is intended to be painted over by Ecos Wall Paint. Ecos EMF blocking paint is suitable for use on primed walls, floors, and ceilings. Not only does it help protect against harmful radiation, it is a 0 VOC, and this means conforms to CDPH 01350, which is an emissions test, and has no odor. So no traditional paint odor, which can cause headaches, nausea, and respiratory issues. So if you've got customers that are afraid of the RF and they want to paint their rooms, this would be good for them because it also has no odor. So it checks all those boxes, right? I'm super excited about this. I just need the next few cutovers to go as planned, and this shouldn't be an issue to get that cranked out. All right, back over to the comments. So no, it is not lead paint. It is a nickel-based paint. Am I going to use it inside or out? So I am going to keep Wi-Fi from leaving, and I'm going to keep Wi-Fi from getting in, or at least 99% of it. Cecil says he spent many days in the screen room at my old job with testing avionics radios. So yeah, a lot of people work around a lot of high-powered radios, military folk, even non-military folk, airport folk, all kinds of stuff. Even even people who are doing Wi-Fi testing, Wi-Fi certification, they build special like Faraday cage rooms for this kind of stuff. So perfect for the timeout room for your kids, right? Yeah, send your kids to the room that's got Wi-Fi blocking on it, and you don't have to worry about it. That's hilarious. So now that I have a working 2.5 gig adapter, you are going to see this QNAP video. You're also going to see the new QNAP switch video to go along with that. And along with the QNAP switch video, you will see these MikroTik multi-gig SFP adapters that I've got here. And we're going to be testing those out. So somebody says, hey, Willie, looks like you've been losing some weight. Stick with it. Yeah, so thanks for noticing. Joe Trelli and his wife are in a competition with me and my wife, and whoever loses and maintains 10% of their body weight by July is the winner. Losers have to buy a steak dinner for the winners in real life, in person. So we're probably going to be heading out that way. Or once again, since Unky Joe is not here to defend himself, Tony from Quick Tech, Joe from Cajoling, and myself, we will all be flying down to Unky Joe's house, enjoying the pool at Unky Joe's ranch. And we will, enjoy our steaks down there. So, Cajoling Tech, Joe asked, dude, have you thought about painting your body or your clothes? Cancer prevention. No, I have not thought about that, but wouldn't that be hilarious if I have some paint left over to like paint a cheap jacket or something like that and see what it's like? That's hilarious. But I'm 100% sure that if you work for a 3-letter agency, that they probably have clothing for certain situations that probably mitigate RF. I would have to imagine. When it comes to state-sponsored anything, they dump all kinds of money into all kinds of things, and Wi-Fi blocking clothes. You know what? Now you got me curious. Let's see here. Wi-Fi blocking clothing. Could help if I could spell clothing. All right, so let's hop back over real quick to the search, over to the Google machine. All right, so here is an EMF Proof Beanie. Beanies have been all the rage in the wintertime, but you're going to want to choose your clothing carefully if you live somewhere warm. You're not going to want to wear a beanie in the summertime. Maybe you will. So this is wireless radiation proof, UV proof, machine washable, color light gray. The next batch does not start shipping until March 16th. And so order now to be part of the next batch. Blocks 99% of wireless radiation, 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It doesn't say anything about 60 gigahertz there, which 60 gigahertz is becoming much more popular. The gear is becoming much more affordable. And so I don't see anything about that there, but maybe it's included. But let me take a look at something here. Let's see. Yeah, no, I thought maybe I saw a picture of Linus from Linus Tech Tips wearing a beanie, and I thought maybe that's what he was wearing, and maybe that is what he was wearing, but it doesn't. I just looked it back up. It doesn't look the same. But they have wave stopper technology built into this. When encountering this electromagnetic shield, the radiation induces a displacement of electrons inside the conductive material, which causes in turn the radiation to be reflected to the outside instead of going inside the shielding. So they you're walking around, you must just be like boop, 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 like reflecting all the things. And if you could machine wash it. All right, so here somebody says, I live in 3 seasons of summer. I still want to protect myself from radiation. This was apparently a 10/16/20 purchase, so not that long ago. It doesn't block out phone service, but it is worth it for my mental health. Perfect for sleeping and stylish. And here is a picture of the user. Don't know if these are real purchasers or not. You know, sometimes you got to be careful of that. So there's just one example of the clothing, which is interesting. And this is, you know, you don't even need a 3-letter agency now. Look at this. EMF Clothing Limited, stylish EMF protective clothing. You know, maybe I need to get some like polo shirts that are, you know, blocking this since I work around it all the time. All right, EMF protection for everyday use. Discover our full range. And I'm actually sure that maybe some of these folks who are working on cell phone towers probably use this stuff already all the time. So why I thought it would cost a lot of money at this point. There's a picture going around the internet of a guy working on a 5G tower, and he's wearing one of these protective headgears, and people are like, the anti-5Gers are like freaking out about it. Yeah, here's some more paint. This looks like you may actually have to... Is this a paint additive? Yeah, this is a paint additive. And I didn't even notice it, but this website is in... everything is not in USDs, so they may not be in the US. Here's an EMF Protective Blanket. All right, so 5G... Yeah, so look, you add this. This uses graphene. And you mix it with your paint, apparently. This is interesting. Oh, wait a minute. No. One bag of powder gives 2.5 liters. The conversion on a Saturday morning with 1 cup of coffee. I think there's, I don't know. Somebody do that in the comments, would you? The conversion. Gives 2.5 liters of ready-to-use shielding paint when 1.5 liters of water is added. So you're actually mixing this. So you're going to want to make sure that, unlike when you bake cookies and brownies, that you get the lumps out. You're not going to want lumps in this. This carbon-based 5G shielding paint has many advantages. High frequency radio exposure of mobile phones, mobile internet, 5G, WLAN, DECT, GSM, LTE, blah, blah, blah. All the acronyms are shielded highly effectively and reliably. Shielding effectiveness. Here you go. 500 megahertz to 40 gigahertz. So that 60 gigahertz is outside of the range of this. So we'll have to see if we can find one that does 60 gigahertz as well. So here's a personal earthing kit. Personally, I don't earth myself probably as often as I should. This is a very interesting. So... yeah, there's that. Yeah, they are out of the UK. All right, what else we got here? Their site depresses me for some reason. All right, your first signal-proof apparel. I think this is the one we were just looking at, maybe? No, this is different. This definitely looks different. This the shield there. They have shield sneakers, undershirt, and boxer briefs. So I know where I'm going shopping for my next set of under trousers. Let's see here. EMF protection. Oh, so this just tells you about their EMF protection. Certified and tested silver fabric. 5G proof, durable. And there's a tester. How it works. Okay, so let's go back to the collection. Let's go to underwear. Boxer briefs, €36. I don't know what the conversion for this is. Here's an undershirt for $59. Holy cow. Like, I buy 3 undershirts for like $10. So I guess unless I'm really worried about EMF, EMR, all that, or EMF, electromagnetic. Yeah, unless I'm like really worried about the RF, this stuff is super expensive. You can see they sell bras and ladies' panties. They're still allowed to call those panties. That's good. All right. Let's see here. We've got eyewear. So there's eyewear. Here's more clothing, headwear. This company's got it all. Holy cow. And we can protect our gadgets too. Let's take a look at this. So here's your clothing. Why is everything in the UK? Why is none of this in the US? The paint's in the US. Interesting. Oh, someone just purchased 1 day ago the classic beanie. But you can see, I don't even know what the euro conversion rates are. This morning is... like I said, I've only had 1 cup of coffee. But yeah, check it out. A t-shirt, €78. Women's t-shirt, €78. Neck tube, signal proof neck tube scarf, €35. So, I mean, the stuff is definitely not inexpensive. Beanie 41, 33, 40. Here's ball caps. Maybe I should get a ball cap. Ooh, here's one of like a winter ball cap there with the fur on it. There's a gift card. I wonder how long it takes. Free worldwide shipping for orders over 150 euro. Sign. I wonder how long it would take to get here if I ordered this. Sneakers. This interested me. These look like Chucks, Converse Chucks, your classic Chucks, but they are apparently EMF protective. Those look like your classic sneaker. That's interesting. Light blue light proof glasses. So this is not for EMF. This is, well, I guess it could be if you consider that blue light to be EMF. So they've got your glasses there. If you don't wear glasses and you want to wear glasses, maybe because you think it makes you look smart, you could get your blue light blocking there. A face mask for 15. RFID Faraday pouch 29. So there is definitely money to be made. Somebody should open a U.S. distributor, and maybe there is a U.S. This is probably the one with the very basic website. Looks like it could be in the U.S. because it's got a 518 area code. We could probably just go to like About Us, but it looks like they've got all kinds of stuff. So here's the neck warmer thyroid shield, $39.95. Silver lining T-shirt. So I would need an extra large. Let's see, $79.95 USDs. Holy moly! But if you need it and you were concerned about it, that's actually a deal. So it's really not. You got to put it in perspective, right? Me, who doesn't know if I need to shield from EMF every day, I don't know if that's a good deal. If I need to shield myself from RF, I think that is a great deal, and if I was working like next to access points and higher frequency radios and stuff every day, I'll bet you that it's a really good deal, right? Microwave blocking, 80 blocks microwaves by 80% face screen. So I'm going to bookmark this here in just a second. Silver L pants. So we're going to bookmark this so I can go back to this later. Formal vests. So here you go, right? You're working with a high-value target if you are providing personal protection, and now there's a formal vest that blocks microwaves. I mean, look at this. So they may be an importer. Gray conductive socks. I mean, this is the first time I'm looking at all of this stuff, and yeah. So they are in Latham, New York, and it's called lessemf.com. I may have to order some stuff. Earthing sandals. That's interesting. So there's people that walk around barefoot because they think that you need to be earth grounded, and that it helps your overall well-being. And I have to tell you that I haven't done enough research into that because I am still just trying to get the weight off, to see what is going there. All right, so over in the comments, we've got people that are saying, Joe says the issue is if you have any rips in your jeans, the Wi-Fi's come right through. Yep. So 4.54 liters to a UK gallon. Nathan's asking what he just walked into. So yeah, Nathan showed up and I noticed like we lost like 30 people on the stream when we started looking at the RF blocking stuff. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an anti 5G person. I'm not any of those things. But I find it interesting that there are people out there like that. And I find it interesting that there's a whole industry that's popped up around consumer, not people who are out installing these RF networks, but around consumer protective wear. I find that interesting. Dave Robertson says current euro is 1.21 to 1. I'm going to show this. Oh, also, so, being a technologist, I have a healthy dose of skepticism for things such as Bitcoin, right? But a friend of mine who owns a consulting company out in New York is into crypto, and when Bitcoin was like $5,000 a Bitcoin, he's like, dude, you need to buy in. You need to get partial Bitcoin. You need to get in. Boy, am I sorry that I didn't listen to him. Excuse me, only if not to get in on the hype, right? So this last week, he pings me and he says, dude, when are you going to get into crypto? And I said, all right, you tell me what I need to do. I know I need to do much more research on the subject, but the thing that scares me is you see all this news of these exchanges just going offline like that and taking, millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency with them. And, so what I'm going to do, Joe Trelli was not the crypto person, but, so I actually signed up on Gemini and I bought, let's see what I did everything from a mobile platform. And so I've got the 2FA, I'm working on the YubiKey and all that good stuff, but let's hop over to, Gemini on the other screen here real quick. And let's look at this and I'll show you what I bought. So I'm hoping that they can show us the prices and where we're at. Okay, so I bought, hold on to your seats, get ready for this. I did buy Bitcoin. However, I only bought $25 worth of Bitcoin because Gemini allows you to buy into the system. By the way, I am not a financial expert. This is not financial advice, any of that good stuff. What this is I'm telling you what I did. And your mileage will always vary. If you can't afford to lose the money that you invested, then you've got to make these choices for you. Now, here's what I'll tell you. My total investment was $110. The current value of my portfolio. So when you invest, there are this exchange, Gemini, they get a certain amount of what you buy is deducted for their rates and their fees. So when I say I bought $25 worth of Bitcoin, I didn't actually get $25 worth of Bitcoin. I got like $20 worth of Bitcoin because then there were like $5 worth of fees on top of that purchase. So the exchanges, no matter what, are the ones who are always going to make money in the cryptocurrency game. The exchanges will always make money because you have to pay them for this. All right. So the exchanges, that's where the business is at, in my opinion, is to become an exchange for these things. However, I bought $25 worth of Bitcoin, which is now today worth $21. So my total portfolio is down to $91.58, and I put $110 in. Now, this is the only $110 that I felt that I could just, if something happens to this, it's gone. And that's how I'm approaching it. Like I said, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you my story. So then he told me that Chainlink, which we'll have to find that, he thinks this one is going to be big, is going to be huge. And there's a lot of speculation, people giving unrealistic numbers. I told him, I said, look, I'm going to buy this stuff. I'm going to look at it, but I'm not selling it. I may buy more depending on what happens, but only if I can afford to lose the money that I'm willing to put into it. So I did buy some Chainlink. And right now I own $42.45 worth of Chainlink. I bought some Ether, and I own $20.30 worth of Ether. And then I was looking at, once you sign up, they will actually let you sort by like high performers and things like that. So I actually bought this other one, and if he's watching, he's probably going to be like, no, why'd you do that? But I actually bought into AMP as well, and I own 320.18 amps. And so I own $7.79 worth. And so we'll see what happens. Since I did this like on Tuesday, my portfolio has been up and down. It's been down into like the high 80s. If it ever hits $110, which is my original investment, I will jump for joy and be very excited. So, and if it doesn't hit 110, I knew that going in. And if I lose it, like I said, if I only stuck in the money that I could afford to completely lose on this. All right, so let's actually answer some viewer questions over in the comments. Oh yes, Bob Carpenter, I have seen the folks, the people who work on helicopters on high voltage lines, and they've got that outfit and they have to ground themselves. And that looks absolutely terrifying. First of all, I'm still skeptical of flying. I've never been in a helicopter. So combine two things, helicopter ride, high voltage, and then having to like perform this perfectly. Otherwise you die. It's terrifying. Gene Montgomery says, just wear a suit of armor all day. If I had a suit of armor, you can bet your bottom dollar that I would wear that. And I would probably wear it in videos. I may wear it out to a fancy dinner, wherever my wife would allow me to wear the suit of armor. But I would definitely wear a suit of armor. If you think I wouldn't, send me a suit of armor and I will give you the story. I will wear it all week. All right. So the next question is, any advice moving from an old Synology Nas to a new one? So there's a couple different ways you can move from an old Synology Nas to a new one. The first one is to use their easy transfer wizard if your NAS supports it. If your NAS doesn't support it, then you're going to have to do this another way. However, both ways are easy. Now, their easy transfer assistant really makes it easy because you load the app on your new NAS, you point to the old NAS, and it literally moves everything. And so you don't have to deal with the second option. It just does it, but your NASs have to support it. Now, the other thing that you could do is you could do a hyper backup and back up everything, not only your files and shares, but also all of the configurations. Then you can transport those over to your new NAS and then restore them, and it's effectively doing the same thing that the easy transfer is, but you're doing it manually. So you can do that a couple different ways. If you've got older NASs that don't support the easy transfer wizard, the hyper backup and then the restore, that's going to be your best option. Yeah, Gibby says they actually connect the helicopter to the line. Yeah, I watch it and they bind the helicopter to the line with like a clip or something, so that it's crazy. It's crazy. Mr. Tinfoil Hat says, hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. All right. Dave Robertson says, my son tried to get me to buy into Bitcoin back when it was $400 to $500 each. Sure wish I had that. Yeah. So the funny part about that is back when Bitcoin was first starting out, I started mining it. And I was like, oh, this is no. But I still have a healthy dose of optimism because, yes, the governments make us pay taxes on our cryptocurrency now. We knew that was going to happen, but they're still not really regulated as far as if a currency if I have my wallet sitting out on an exchange and all of my money in this exchange and they go offline, how am I going to get that money back? I'm not. It's gone. It's gone. Now, they are doing some regulation of cryptocurrencies. And see, this is where I need to do much more research, but with exchanges can still go offline and take your stuff to it. Mike Frank says, just move your crypto to a hard wallet. Well, right now, using Gemini, I'm buying into Gemini's wallet, right? So at some point, maybe if I ever had an entire Bitcoin, I would, have my own wallet and try to figure all that stuff out. I don't even know how that works, right? Which is part of the conundrum of this. Cryptocurrency is something, being a technology person, that I will always have a healthy distance and like, okay, maybe I'll try it, which is why I only put $110 in. If I lose $110, it's not the end of the world. So back to the comments here. Yeah, Bob Carpenter says crypto mining is the main reason you can't buy any graphics cards for the past 18 months. And I also just saw then that NVIDIA is actually going to put something that recognizes if the new card, and somebody else I know has had to have seen this article. So please comment in the chat about this. That NVIDIA is actually going to purposefully cause the cards to not be able to mine at 100% efficiency. And I don't know if that's a play to protect gamers or what that is, but I just saw that article and thought that was interesting. Cajoling Tech says, okay, Boomer, maybe you should go back to General Electric stock. And now you've got me looking at stock, which I wish I would have bought Cambium Networks. Every time I look into this, I second guess myself. Holy cow, let's flip back over to the other screen. GameStop is still up and down. It's like when I saw it a few days ago, it was $46. Now it's up over to $100. But let's look at General Electric. It's affordable. It's affordable, Joe, from Cajoling Technologies, unlike Amazon stock. Amazon's not affordable for the normal person trying to get in. I mean, you could buy partial shares and get into that whole thing like I'm doing with cryptocurrency. Once again, this is not advice, just the way that I'm doing it. And you can see that General Electric has a market cap of almost $110 billion. That's a lot of dollars. But yeah, this is not something, this is something that I kind of dabble in. This is not advice, any of that good stuff. All right. So, back over to the comments. Bob says, yes, they neutered the 3060 for only one type of math hashing, but it works for many others. So that's interesting. So they've purposefully dragged the speed down of this new video card for one. Is that Bitcoin hashing or what? I'm not sure what it is, but we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that, check that out. And once again, Saturday, I'm glad everybody was here. I know we didn't talk about too many exciting things. We talked about some odd things today, like EMF shielding clothing and crypto, but I'm glad that everybody's happy, healthy, and sane this morning. And here in the U.S., we're getting ready to run into springtime where I'm at here in central Illinois. And so I hope you're all doing well. And I want to thank you all for being here. If you want to check out the QNAP adapter, like I said, there's an affiliate link down there in the description. If you need IT consulting, you can go to williehowe.com, fill out my contact form. We'll get back with you as soon as we can. If you need anything else, let us know. I've got a couple phone systems I'm going to be working on tomorrow to get those out. And just trying to catch up from the last couple days of that cutover, not going the way that it should. So have literally put in a lot of time over the last couple days. So going to check that out. Going to kind of relax a little bit today, get some things checked off the list, spend some time with the family, and I hope that wherever you're at, you're healthy and happy. And once again, I am Willie. I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.